Hey, yo, it's your boy Fargo, and I'm with Sarah Harrison. It's the lady in the trap. You already know what it is. Canada.
Who are you? This is the Sarah Harrison Show. You heard it here first, you dig?
It's the lady in the trap, Sarah Harrison, bang on a 3.6 FM. Tory Lanez, why did you laugh at that?
I didn't know you was gonna start it off as the lady of the trap.
Do you like that?
It's dope.
Love it. Well, it abbreviates LITT, which is lit.
Oh, okay.
Or, it's gonna take over the Swave Nation, man.
I really like that.
Thanks, man. So this is Canada's very own right now. And I call you this ticking time bomb because like you've had an archive of mixtapes that have just outdone each other every time you've brought them out. Yeah, definitely. And I think you've built an organic fan base because of that. So tell me, just tell me what your journey's been like and perhaps your favorite moments of your journey so far.
The journey has been very, up and down. It's like a roller coaster. Sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. It's the things you sign up for at the end of the day. But I don't think I could ever highlight my favorite moments because there's just so many, great things that happen. There's so many emotional things that happen that, bring out great things. And, I'm just living. I can't really explain it. I'm just, I just go with the flow every day, and I just, have faith in God that it's going to be all right.
For sure. So what mixtape do you really hold close to your heart and think this was a turning point for Tory Lanez?
A turning point would be Conflicts of My Soul. It's one of my most favorite projects just because of the just the musicality in it, the way it actually is, the way if you ever listen to the whole Conflicts of My Soul from front to back, it's actually a long story, like with skits and everything, and every single song actually musically goes into the next song. And it got kind of overlooked, but it was like one of those things for me where it's like I know I outdid myself with that one, and of course I believe, the other additional mixtapes, increased in just showing talent and potential, with the things that are about to come.
For sure. I'm glad you said that because I believe that Conflicts of My Soul was, yeah. And it was the DJ Drama hosted one, right? Oh, it helps, hey, co-sign like that. Exactly. Now you say that you don't do R&B, you don't do hip hop, you do swavey. How on earth did you come across this term, and what made you run with it?
I made it in 2010, and together me and my manager created something called Swave Nation, and basically the word itself just meant, because when I was first coming in the industry, I was doing a lot of music that was just in all kinds of ways just different. Like, there was definitely times when I was doing rock music and times when I was doing all kinds of different other genres. And I felt like, when I was going into label meetings early in my career, there was no real way for these people to encase my talent or to be like, this is good, this is dope, this is this genre. So I had to make a genre that I felt like would allow me to express any kind of, musical genre without people saying I'm trying to jump lanes or something like that. Right. There was no encompassing lane for me. So, yeah, I guess that's why I made it.
So was it like a take on the word wavy then, and you just put the S at the front?
No, I guess that's one way of looking at it, but I was never one of those dudes who said wavy, or like, I wasn't really a swag guy either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but the word just became the word, but it didn't come from that though.
Okay, got you. We'll run with it. I like it. It's not as good as lit. I'm joking. I think that's overused now. But what would you think was your first love? What would you say was your first love, singing or spitting?
Well, it always originally started at, I was rapping. When I was very young, I picked up rapping, and then like 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say I really started singing, and I just developed that talent to just be as good, because I'm not one of those people that will lag on one side, and nah, it's two wheels to a bicycle. So in order for one to go at its best speed, the other wheel needs to be at the same.
But we first really heard you as a singer, right?
No. Uh, when I first actually started putting out music, it was always both.
Okay.
So it was, but it was predominantly more rapping. Um, and then I guess from conflicts in my soul, like on is when it got a little, more melodic and just with melodies and things like that. Because I started getting into producing, and
Yeah.
that's that's probably why.
And yeah, I didn't really want to ask you the question, oh, are you a singer or a rapper? But it's always interesting to know which one would you, or not really classify, but which one would you go to first? You know, like if someone, well, I can speak for myself, I'm bilingual, I speak two languages. That's true. But, people always ask me, which language do you think in? Or which, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because I've lived here in the UK now for most of my life, so English is kind of like the go-to language initially. But when I moved here first, I always thought in my native tongue, which is Maltese. I'm from Malta. So yeah, so I was interested if it's the same thing when it comes to singing and rapping.
Oh no! Wow, that's a different way of looking at it. But that's very interesting that you're bilingual and people ask you that question because I guess it's in the same format. People would ask me the same kind of thing.
For sure. Do you think that you've studied your singing though? Because I really feel like your vocal delivery has changed, and I feel like we first heard it on Conflicts of My Soul, where you really, really started to identify yourself in your voice and stuff. Did you listen to any singers in particular to try and develop yourself?
Honestly, no. I think the thing for me was just I was singing a lot of different styles before, and I think when I would have a very raspy, smooth voice, and when I would take that approach to songs, it would sound more dreamy for me. And my whole thing is about giving the listener an experience, not giving the listener a song. I want the listener to feel like they're in a world when they hear my music, like you're somewhere else, you're not here. And that I think I think that for me, just like finding that tone and that way to go on all the songs that I do, um, it helped me create that sound that was on Conflicts of My Soul. And I think what changed for me was I was just singing a lot more. I was doing a lot more live concerts, and my vocals just got stronger. And yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. I want to talk about producer Tory Lanez though. Do you do you treat it equally as important as your singing and rapping? Like, is it a really important part of your artistry?
Um, as far as producing,
Yeah, you dabble in production, right?
of course, I think the most important thing for me, and I was just telling my manager this, I think yesterday, was when I produce, that helps me get, I think, the most realist and most honest me, because the music that I'm making is from my own feelings. And what's crazy about me is when I hear beats, I don't listen to it for a long time. I just go in the studio and I just go and I'll do it. But when I make beats, these are a direct reflection of what I want to say without it being said in lyrical format. And whatever a beat gives me is what I'm going to give back to the beat. That's why people think that, like, my music is so great, but I think it's just the fact that if you think the beat is amazing, and however, I like to pick glorious beats. If you think the beat is glorious, whatever's going to be on top of this is going to be glorious, because that's all I can give it back. So for me, when I do make beats, and when I do dabble in the production and stuff like that, that's when I get the most honest, um, realer side of myself. So yeah, I mean, that definitely has a lot to do with the music.
So how early on did you start producing, and who influenced you in the production game?
Um, it's crazy. I mean, I started with a dude named Play Picasso, and Play was like a dude from Miami. He's a Cuban dude, and we would just go to the studio. Oh, matter of fact, it wasn't even Play's not the first person I actually started with. The first person I ever actually started making beats with was a dude named Stylistic, and it was on a project called Sincerely Tory, and me and him produced the whole project, and that's what kind of got me into it. I had stopped for like a good year and took a good year off after that, and didn't put out anything a year and a half, just trying to revamp the brand, and then I met up with Play, and also I was working with this other dude, um, and he pretty much recorded the project, and he uh, he made beats as well. It was a dude under the Mechanics. He was a cool dude, and we just basically made the sound, especially for Conflicts of My Soul. Um, and that's just that's just how it kind of.
Nice. And we know you love to sample 90s R&B. I mean, it's been the case since the beginning. Because that's what 90s music does, right?
It's beyond the '90s music. It's the feeling that we got from '90s music. It's I don't even think it's the fact that it was in that time. It's just how the music felt. And I feel like as long as it can be revamped correctly, it still will make people feel the same way because the instruments are still the same, the structures are still the same. It just depends on what goes on top of this. And yeah, I listen to a lot of old R&B, and a lot of things have still influenced my sound in a way. But it's a lot more older things, and so I think that's why I'm able to kind of still make it feel like this is authentic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you actually hit it on the head, like revamped correctly, because your current single, "Say It," Brownstone, could have actually gone the other way. It could have been like just it could have been corny. I'm just gonna.
I've seen people just make corny. It's crazy because after I feel like nobody was really remixing '90s songs like that until after the Chicks tape, but that's neither here or there. But um, I feel like when that came out, a lot of people tried it, but it's a certain flavor that you need to have to do it right and to not sound corny. And with a lot of the new age way of recording, it's very hard to capture that essence and that vibe, and that's why that music is that music, and this music of our time now is the music of our time now. Um, yeah, so of course it could have definitely went corny, but I wouldn't allow myself to do something like that, especially with old songs like that. You don't multiple songs that are of that quality or of that magnitude that are amazing, and the label has all these songs, and we go through and we listen, and and we all feel strongly about the music. As far as like songs like Diego, those are songs that you organically let them do what they do. At the end of the day, it's not it for Diego. You don't know what I don't know what like the internet is a huge place, huge, very huge. It's so big that we forget how big the internet is. Things in life sometimes come out, sometimes they settle for a while, sometimes they marinate, and sometimes later on in life they become huge. But it's like you didn't see it then in that spot. Look at the song. I don't know the artist. Look at the Cheerleader song.
Oh yeah,
That was just number one on our charts.
crazy.
And that song was made like I don't want to be timing wrong, but I know it was made like at least 2 or 3 years ago or something like that. It was like an old song, and then a DJ came back and remixed the beat, and that's what made it a hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes you got to just let things go, and if they do go by the grace of God because God wants it to happen, then so be it. If it wasn't written in the cards and I put a song out and it wasn't the one that organically went, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. But definitely go buy Say It on iTunes, because Say It on iTunes, not even just the fact that it's on iTunes, but it's my first record on iTunes, and it's basically an incredible song. Like it's really an incredible song.
What's this Caribbean slang we hear at the beginning? Like you really have a whole skit. And I feel like it's only recently that we've been seeing a lot of this like patois coming from Canada. And we're like, has this always been the case? Like can you tell me something about the roots?
Yeah, well, see, my problem with me is like I'm always around a lot of my American friends, and I think sometimes like they're well, and of course the fact that I was also raised in America when I was younger. A lot of times when I'm around them, my voice is like this, but when I'm in Canada, it's like it's not even knowing. It's not even the fact that everyone's Jamaican. It's honestly it's the same slang. Like I'm not talking to you like this. Like you feel me? I'm talking to you like, yo, so what going with yo, the man I'm dealing with, fam. Like yo, where are we going? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where the things at? Like that's how we talk. You feel me? Like at the end of the day, like so it's a situation where I guess when I'm around home, when I'm around family, it just come out. Like that's how we are. Like that's Canada. Like Canada is literally, we kind of talk exactly like y'all. We just don't have that accent.
Yeah, because people here want to be saying, "Oh, they sound British," but not really. It's Caribbean.
We all get it. You know?
Do you have it in the food as well? Then does it translate into the culture of the food?
Of course. You definitely have to. Like, I'm a real Jamaican food. Let's not even have that conversation. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm eating, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those, put the oxtail gravy on the rice and peas. Like, you know, if you don't know about that right there, first and foremost, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if a girl doesn't make the ackee and saltfish right, that's a deaf eyes. Like, if you don't know about all that, like, you know what I'm saying? You just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, that's just, you know, that's us. And the food is amazing in Canada. And it's still like that. It's like going to Jamaica and getting some Jamaican food, you know?
Well, listen, for when you
But, you know.
when you come off stage tonight, you're gonna have to we're gonna have to take you to some spot like to get some good Jamaican food.
Have to eat some Jamaican food from London before I get out of here.
And one last question. I'm really looking forward to seeing you perform tonight. What's the most favorite song that you enjoy performing, or are you really excited about, or are you dropping any exclusives? Because I know I love Diego. Like, I really love it. I did a Vine like for it.
Diego, I will look you dead in your eyes, and I will look at you and I will point and I will say, "This is for you."
Great. That's made my day, man. Sick.
Shout out to Sarah Harrison, man. Lady in the Trap, the hardest music.
The hardest music.
In the trap,
The hardest DJ.
you'll find the lady.